Hey guys, back with an update on the Axial Deadbolt budget build. Now, it's been quite a while since you guys have seen an update on this truck. I think the last time you saw it was the running footage that I had from the Rocky Mountain Scale Nationals out in Morrison, Colorado. That was a blast to run this truck in that crawling style competition, which is what I did build this truck for in the beginning anyway. Since then, I have done more work to it and I've also ran it quite a bit more. Now, since then, Nicole and I took a trip up to Canada. We went and saw Toronto, Niagara Falls, and also while we were up there, we made sure and stopped up at the Axial G6 at the Warsaw Caverns. Met a bunch of the guys from Canada up there and had a great time overall hanging out for about a week. Now, this truck is what I ran up there. Now, again, I built this truck as a crawling type truck with some sacrifices made in that long trail running type setting. So I did make a couple of changes before that. We took out the underdrive or the overdrive gears, that were in the front axle and swapped those out to another set of the Axial underdrive gears. This gave me a matching front to rear drive ratio again. It took away a little bit of that extreme climbing ability this thing had when I did have the under over setup in there, but I wanted to make sure that I had less strain on my drivetrain overall for that long trail ride that a G6 really is. Now, we ran a 3-man team up there. A lot of fun running 3 trucks side by side all day to get through all those loops. Overall, I think we probably got done in a little under 2 hours. A whole lot of fun. Now, we did push hard to get done as fast as we can, and there was a couple of sections of that trail that had some really fun technical stuff. Sometimes the G6s can be a little bit light on technical terrain, and they're just kind of that organized trail run. This one actually did have some technical terrain, and that made it a lot of fun. Now, since we were pushing hard and all of that, this rig did take about a 6-foot fall off of a ledge onto a flat face, and in that time what happened is I busted the inner axle shaft on there. What I did was narrow that initially when we did the stock width burley tubes. That's just something that happens, especially when you're modifying a part like that. It can be a little bit weaker than it was at the beginning. I'm not overly surprised. I'm not unhappy that I did the modification though. I do like the width that the narrow burley tubes gave me up front and the steering angle and strength that the joints of these inner axle shafts had. It's just this thing snapped off at the locker. I haven't replaced that yet, but I will because we do have our local Goat Hill Scale Adventure Challenge coming up here towards the end of June, and this truck I will definitely run in that because I just really like how this truck performs. Now, another update you won't have seen unless you follow my Instagram or Facebook is the new wrap on here. And as you can see, this is kind of a half wrap. It's a half skin. And what this is by Freaky Skins, just like all of the wraps that I use here in the shop. And this is called a half wrap. It's a universal sheet. It's about 20 inches long or so and has a pretty generic shape for you to use. And it goes for any body, any car, whatever you have. You buy these half wraps for about $12 for the pair, and you throw them on your car in any way you want. Now, this would have worked the exact same on my Spawn kit. Whatever I've got around the shop, I could have used this on, but this is what we threw it on. Nice, simple, easy graphic, but you can still tell this thing's a deadbolt. I want to keep this thing looking like a deadbolt that a lot of you guys have, just to keep this thing as relatable as it can be as far as where we're at now and where we began. Now, removing the body on this thing, we're going to see quite a few other changes that we've made since then as well. I've removed the stock plastic axial sliders and installed this new set of sliders from Scalar Fab. If you remember, Scalar Fab is who provided the rear bumper for this project. They also have a number of slider options for your side here. Now, I went with a standard single tube top, but I did get the skid plate style bottom. Just gives a nice transition in there. With the final edition of these, I did finally have to give up on my Howler Customs battery tray. That thing worked great for a long time. I hacked it up to make it work with all the modifications as this thing went, but with the addition of these sliders, it doesn't have the holes anymore, so I had to get rid of it. What I did have to do is find a way to mount my ESC, but while I was removing the ESC and things like that on that other battery tray, I decided to completely remove that stock ESC and the Holmes Hobbies Crawlmaster motor and go to a full brushless setup. Now, I don't know how that fits in the budget. It doesn't fit in the budget. Unless you count all of these weeks that I have missed videos and added up those $50, I would make sure I had well in excess of what this new brushless system costs. But for that G6 up there, I just love brushless power. It had to go in this truck. It's just one of those things that I enjoy driving the most. Now, I had a Mama Max Pro sitting here in the shop, so that's what got thrown in this truck. And for the motor, I went with the new Holmes Hobbies motor. This is his brushless stubby motor. It has very similar to the same dimension of components inside of that can as like the Rock 412 that I've been using in a lot of trucks in the past. But this one is considerably shorter than the Rock 412, but overall it had pretty similar or almost the same amount of power. Startup was a little punchier on this one, but still very happy with the performance overall. I had a blast running this motor out there in that G6. That stubby motor did allow me plenty of room to continue running those 2200 milliamp battery packs right here where the stock motor would have been in the transmission area. Sits in there nice and low, whole deal, works fantastic. Beyond that, anything else on the truck I've been doing has just been general maintenance. Really happy with how this truck is performing so far. We are still going to continue seeing things from this truck because it's really the truck that I drive on the trail the most. A lot of fun, super capable, and it's just to that place now where it's very well built. Beyond the issue that I have had with the Axial here, haven't had too many issues with it. It just performed very well overall. I did throw an SSD Fairlead on the front of that bumper finally. That was actually compliments of Matt up there in Canada. I didn't have a winch Fairlead on there still since Colorado, so threw one on there and got that taken care of. So thanks to Matt for that one. Also a big thanks to Brett. I took this truck up there unfinished. I had a lot of changes to make. I made a few of them, got it close to ready, and then dropped it off to him when I got up there in Canada, and he helped me by getting this thing finished up. He did the gear swap in the front end, and he also finished wiring up the electronics that I had put in here the night before we left to get on the road. So I had a lot of other things to get planned for while I was up there in Canada. It was a great trip for me and Nicole. We had a lot of fun. Special time overall, so really happy that we got up there, and Nicole and I will definitely be back up to Canada soon because we had a blast, and it's one of those things that we didn't know that we were going to have that much fun or enjoy Canada that much. So in the future, it's just going to have to be one of those things that we work in there. Long drive, but definitely worth it overall. With all of that, that's where we're at with the Deadbolt for updates. Again, loving this truck, had a blast with it so far. We'll continue to drive it as hard as ever, and we'll just continue to see where this build goes. As far as the actual $50 a week and those constant updates, I'm not going to commit to those again right now. I am still insanely busy at work, and it's taking away from a lot of that. As you guys have seen, I've been slower on updating videos. Actually, I haven't had a video out in quite a while, and I apologize for that. But I'm going to continue to try and get as much as I can done while I do have the time. I've got some progress done on a handful of projects here, a bunch of things that I want to bring to you, and I'm going to try and get a bunch of videos done here tonight so that I can let those out and give you guys something to look at in my absence of having a lot of time to get a lot of videos done. With that lengthy explanation, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the comments you guys give on the videos, on my Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. I love doing this, and I want to continue doing it. I wish I could continue to do the $50 weekly updates. It's just not in the cards at the moment. I will definitely get back to something like that. I really do like the motivation to get a video done every week. It's something that just makes me find time to get some things done, and just right now I know my limitations. But with all of that, sorry for repeating myself. We'll see you guys on the next one.